Hello everybody, it is Monday, it is time for your MCN. Lots of things to talk about, bring to the forefront, and as well, dispel rumours. That's what we're going to do in the show. So, taking you first into the action of some things that are happening or have happened in the last week and is going to happen in the foreseeable week. Starting off with this, you might have seen that there are some people, as this player says, today I noticed this when I logged in. I'm pretty sure it's a bug, just wanted to make sure, especially because it is a new to the contest, new summoner type login. This is something that's been around for a little while, so you might have noticed, especially if you're a new player, giving you some helpful things to start you on your journey, whether or not it's a Thor, whether or not it's some revives, whatever this is, depending on the days that you're playing. It was interesting because I think this particular player was Paragon, and this is something like I'm Paragon, and I don't have it, but obviously Paragon, some players had it. About time those belly aching Paragons be given 3 stars. Go explore Necropolis if you want better rewards. That's funny. But yeah, if you have seen this is definitely a bug, with Kabam Mike confirming this is not intended. This is meant for a brand new players, so not sure why you might have gotten it. We were already aware and are looking into it, so I guess people get to keep those particular rewards. And of course, that's a bit of bone of contention as Valiant starts extending away from Paragon. Paragon players will feel like they're losing out, where obviously Valiant players are gaining. And of course, this is something that Kabam are responsible behind. I'll have to do an update on how to be Valiant in 2024 video, especially because there's a lot of things that have been added to the game in the meantime. Next up, and clarifying and also talking about that domino thing that was mentioned on the live stream. So I just want to point out something, because here's the thing. Kabam, I think, have taken out of context what I said, which apparently, according to them, is taken out of context for something they said. So I just need to clear up something, just so there's no confusion on a matter. So I'm going to play what Kabam said.
And also, she's already ranked 5.
And Domino also breaks the game, and our
so
dev
many ways,
team
and that's
is
kind of
so upset about it all the time.
I kind of love that.
I think it's hilarious.
Now we're going to go over what I said. Also interesting, Kabam Mike did say that the Domino breaks the game in some ways, but and the dev team aren't a massive fan of the champion for whatever reason. That was a bit of a revelation. Thought that was a bit strange, but the context of what they were talking about, it was kind of like a flippant remark, or kind of like an off-the-cuff remark from Kabam, which I didn't know. You know, when sometimes things are mentioned, you're like, that was a bit odd or a bit strange for them to mention, but it seemed to like spiral a little bit out of kind of not control, but there was some assumptions that maybe there was something happening to the champion. That doesn't seem to be the case. It was just something that what was the context? Like, Kabam didn't say, oh, the dev team don't like it because a broken animation. They didn't go into any specific details, and I was kind of left, as many people were, just reacting to it like, what was that about? That was a bit of a revelation, and that was a bit strange, which of course is what I mentioned. And Kabam Jack said, we have zero intention to nerf Domino. That wasn't the context of a conversation in any way. It wasn't really a conversation, full stop. It was just an off-the-cuff remark from Kabam Mike. It seemed to be an internal joke that Kabam seemed to have, because Jack started laughing first, and of course I don't want to, dissect the body language. It's just, again, a very weird thing that Kabam mentioned. I don't know, thoughts in the comment section about that particular thing. And of course, I got dragged into it because it's like, my coverage, listen to Ridge's coverage. I just said it was strange, and it was a very, odd thing, and it was a revelation, and very strange. But yeah, it was kind of odd to be dragged into this situation. But that's why I've put the clips in this segment, just to clarify stuff, because people may be kind of like, what's the point? I don't know, I got dragged into it, so I thought I'd best respond to it. Right, shout out to MCOC Avenger, link is in the description to MCOC Avenger. The details of results, that's one thing from Battlegrounds. Now, look, from a solo aspect, I think that's the thing I'm most concerned about. I think in future, put together or try and get results for Battlegrounds solo. I think that's where things are going to really matter, especially because we had the opinion of, well, I think things are going to change in any case, because look, we now have to do Battlegrounds in order to get runestones for the pieces for Nightcrawler. It's a thing. It's got to happen, sadly. But I don't know. Of course, the opinion, the rumor, was less people from a solo aspect were doing Battlegrounds, at least from a push to something like further into Gladiator Circuit, especially with the points. And I think that was very much seen. I think a lot of people were floating around like the 15 points mark on stuff. But as I said, because I can't vouch for that, it was just a case of like, next season I will have to spend a bit more time to grab data from solo and as well you know, help out MCC Avenger with getting the alliance based information, especially as I think the points have remained relatively the same, especially from the data that MCOC Avenger has put together. You know, back in the 4th season, we were looking at 14.8 mil for 6th place. You know, we kind of go through the years, like, well, the year 11th season, 1st place 34 mil, 13th place 17 mil. And then you look at season 14, which had 1st place was 20.9 mil. So that's that. And then 16th place was 13.5. So definitely on season 11, or because season 12, everybody had to participate in season 12 because you needed those decent solo points. And I think things might change with Battlegrounds. However, though, at this moment in time, we still have no word about what solo event improvements. We know we're getting it. We know when-ish, but we don't know to what extent. And people want to find better rewards. They want to find better things sorted out with it. But of course, point farming is going to be very important as well for alliances. So will your alliance be one of these that say, look, we've got to do more? And the top positions may have changed. They may be kind of like less now. Don't know the full extent. I would advise everybody, it just helps, same way with arena results, it just helps out the process to know where we are, to go, should we shoot as hard as we've done before to get the nice rewards from it? But yeah, roll on new season. We've put out the guide on the channel about some of the cool options, so go and check out that. Now, one of the final stories before we get into talking about arena results is Serpent. You might have seen the deep dive that went live on Saturday, a little bit later on Saturday. I definitely did a video on Serpent, but there was a lot of things I didn't personally know until that deep dive went out, and as well the spotlight went out, which I'll put a link to in the description if you do want to read up on the champion. So, from a just kind of like information standpoint, of course, this has gone like ease of use. It's kind of a 3, damage of 2.5, which I don't personally get because there's some definite footage that this champion can do the business, but it's been tipped more as a defender than an attacker, which I think is a bit bizarre because as an attacker, and especially from the footage that Karate Mike put together, it definitely looks like he can do the business. As this champion seems to have like some persistent improvement to it, especially by having a max of 3 at the start of fight, each fight gaining indefinite fury buff, increasing attack rating by X amount, obviously depending on the rarity for each dread. And of course that's important. Serpent starts the fight quest with 1 persistent dread. Winning the fight grants 1 dread as a defender. He starts with 3. So that kind of gives you an idea of like, you know, damage potency. And it could be really annoying as a defender. And that's definitely something that's kind of caught a lot of the player base's eyes as to this could be a little bit frustrating. But I definitely think there's a lot on his attack side of things. And definitely, like, you know, I wasn't quite sure whether I wanted to make a video, and sometimes I never have enough time to do it because I'm doing so many other things video wise, and of course working, you know, I work during the day and do this in the evening and the weekends. But there's something that caught my eye and a lot of players' eyes, which could be a little bit scary. So we've got the video playing right here, and of course we've got the red arrow right there pointing at True Focus. True Focus, now first of all I was like, okay, well that's good for something like countering evade and miss champions, and I am really looking forward to having this as a utility champion for that matter. But from a defense perspective, having that True Focus might go a little bit further in the way that it would interact with, say, the Dexterity Mastery. And that's the thing that's a little bit scary, like what that can actually do. And you can see, there it is on screen right now. On activation, True Focus buff, this buff is removed when the Serpent is struck, but as a defender, when struck by a special attack, while this buff is active, the Serpent's special attacks cannot be avoided with a Dexterity Mastery. That's the thing that is pretty scary. Not ridiculously, but it's something that you're going to have to really take great care when playing off against this champion. There's a lot more to it. I really recommend going to check out the deep dive because it's really interesting. And this champion goes into different layers. Like, I think it's one of the first champions to mention Battlegrounds in its abilities or interactions. There's a really interesting thread that was put out for this. So a lot of the players kind of talking about it, and of course, you know, the spotlight. I'm wondering how this champion evolves and how it's going to be just played, because look, I think that a lot of players are going to like this champion on offense and defense. And can I get some cheeky kind of crystals with my units? Because obviously I don't spend in the game anymore. So I wonder if I could do that. If not, I'm going to have to think about it. Do I want to go arenas for the 6-star? That again is another thought process to have, because I think this might be a popular champion to go for, but we'll have to see. That is it. But will you be going for this champion? Are you more interested with Destroyer? Thoughts in the comments, and as well, will you be getting? Will you be spending on some of the pre-release bundles? Of course, we've got to end Monday's show on arena predictions and results for Dust and for Xerxes. Xerxes is a very good Battlegrounds defensive option, by the way. And the results that we've got for Dust and Xerxes are as follows. Well, look, it's a bit of a change with the grind. 142 mil, got position 89 for Dust. And then right down at the bottom there, 102.6 mil, 399 position. 5-star, 50 mil, got the 1% to 5%. Whether or not people went for it, I don't know if there was a lower one. We just got a lot of high scores, but thanks to everybody that submitted scores, because this is important. This is how we can get data and also do predictions. Only one score for Xerxes at 32.1 mil for position 8. Shout out to the person on Twitter that sent me that one. So yeah, predictions wise, I'll go with Xerxes 20 mil for round 2 and 10 mil for the 5-star. Dust is a 6-star. I'll go for 110 mil. At least that will get you close to that kind of 310, 315, maybe putting in about 320 spot. So yeah, kind of go for that. And then 5-star, go for 50 mil. But to be honest, it could be a lot lower. It's just we didn't have the data for that. But thanks very much, everybody submitted information. Please check out some other content which is located on screen right now. And I'll see you all in the next video, whenever that will be. Bye-bye.